Yo, we're live. Welcome to the Diren Kartal show.
Set up, isn't it? This is amazing. I tell you what, we'll talk about all the gear and no idea.
Yeah.
This is a proper setup.
I know.
Do you know what? I'm sending you my fucking electric bill.
100%. This is not all fart. All fart, no poo. All fart, no poo. Okay, guys, welcome to episode 26. And today,
which is a shart, apparently.
Is it?
It's a shart, yeah. All fart, no poo.
No,
it's a bit of poo.
It's a bit of poo.
Of course I've sharted. Who hasn't sharted? Who sharted here? I've sharted.
You know what?
Jen sharted on that chair.
This episode has already started well. Can you tell me where and when?
Where I've sharted?
Yeah.
Oh.
Have you got a story for me?
I mean, how much detail do you want? This morning,
go for
yesterday, last Wednesday, the week before, week before that.
Sounds like
it's a regular basis.
Sounds like you enjoy it. Yes.
You've got to stop living on protein bars.
Okay, guys, today I've got my man Alan Barratt here, the CEO of Grenade.
Do you know it's hard to believe?
Is it? Well, yeah. I'm gonna find out. But you know what? I want this episode to be a little bit different. I've heard some of your other ones, and everyone's talking about Grenade, and obviously it's linked to you. But I want to hear about the weapon that built it.
Are we back to talking about willies again? We were just talking about willies off air a minute ago. At some detail, Jenny started the conversation, obviously.
We were talking about like people's body composition and how it affects their willy size, you know, for the people that are listening. But okay, I've got a first question for you, right?
Okay.
I asked this to everyone. What is your Nandos order?
Oh, it's my Nandos. You know what? I tried to go to Nandos yesterday.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't let me in.
Why?
Because it was invite only. That's invite only and friends of Nandos. Like,
what?
Hang on a minute.
Really?
Nandos in Touchwood have got a little bit above themselves, haven't they, to be honest?
Did you?
Invite only. It's not the Ivy.
Did you tell him you know me?
No.
You should.
Yes, I didn't know you then, did I?
No, you didn't. Yeah,
I think if I was arguing with an 18-year-old, spotty 18-year-old at Nando's that won't let me in.
Yeah.
Right. I'm not sure saying I'm going to meet Diren Kartal tomorrow would have helped. Because they'd obviously go, who?
You know what? I've got some links in Nando's, you know. I could have sorted it out for you at the door and everything, you know.
Oh, how embarrassing.
But what is your order, though?
I don't think I want to sort of argue to get into Nando's. I just walked away a little bit disappointed and then went in the chicken place over the road as a bit of a, they're not getting me back again. But when I do have a Nando's, I just have half a chicken, probably some spicy chips. Yeah. I have medium, sorry about that, I have the medium spice. Yeah. And just spicy rice, probably.
As long as you have peri-peri chips.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
what's important.
That's cool. Yeah, of course. Any reason you go.
Amazing.
But give them a plug now. Yeah. So couldn't get in Nando's because obviously I'm not special enough.
Yeah.
Went over the road. Then there was a queue for Wagamama, not queue for tapas. No. So we went over the road, and I think it was Jamala or Jamaya or something, and it was like a jerk chicken. It was an exact Nando's copy.
Do you like jerk chicken?
But jerk, I do now.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So I had that. It was amazing. Nando's. I'm never coming back.
Never going back.
Nope.
See you later,
On principle.
Nando's.
On principle.
And I'm not going back.
It's not going to bankrupt them, to be honest. It reminds you if you stop going. It won't if I go. I've had one for 2 years.
All right. So guys, on my way here, right, I've walked in here and I've seen Alan. The house is amazing. The cars are amazing. I've heard he's got tanks.
Not here.
Not here.
Yes.
I haven't seen a butler yet, but I've got one question for you. And I don't want to be disappointed. Are you Batman?
No, I'm not Batman. Well, I couldn't tell you if I was, so no, I'm not.
Would you talking about Batman?
I don't like Batman.
You don't like Batman because you don't like DC.
No, I don't like DC. It's weird.
What do you prefer?
Marvel.
Yes, and this is why we're going to be good friends.
Yes, there's only one answer there.
Yeah.
There's only one answer. There have been 800 Batman films, all terrible.
Yeah.
And they've remade the same film 800 times. And it's weird.
If you had to pick a Batman, who is your favourite one? I hope it's the same one as me.
There's been that many. There's highly unlikely. Do you know what? I might go. I think I'd probably go. Is it Michael? No, not Michael Keaton. Yeah, it was Michael Keaton. Was he the first one in the 1988 version? Because that was the original Batman.
Yeah.
I think that was, it would have been the first one I saw. I was about 12.
Yeah.
Probably go him.
Yeah. But if you had to...
That's not your one, is it? It's yours, Val Kilmer?
No. Christian Bale.
Christian Bale. Oh, yeah. But isn't he a bit of a tosser in real life?
Yeah. He was... Is he? Have you
met him? I haven't, but I know people have.
How can you make that opinion?
I thought you were a tosser for I met you. I was right.
Oh, here we go. It's all right. It is true, though. It is true. I want to... I love this area, right? Obviously, because you're here. Why
You
here?
moaned about every step of the journey.
What?
He's been messaging me the whole journey going, oh, we're miles away, we're miles away. Well, actually, not like that. Actually, don't sound like that. It was like, bruv, I'm miles away, bruv. I haven't spent this long inside something, bruv. And since I was in my mum's womb, innit?
Womb.
That's exactly what you
said.
said.
As they were refugees coming into England. That's
Yeah,
what I
on
said.
the way in. So, yeah, for several weeks in a dinghy, probably. Can we I've gone too far, haven't I?
No, bro.
Cross the line.
No, man. Why? You can make
Was
those
it a
jokes
dinghy?
with me. Huh?
Was it a dinghy?
No, I think it was a truck still.
That's okay. The back of a truck.
Truck from
It was
Calais.
a hell of a journey. Anyway, you
Calais.
can't compare
Yeah.
coming to Stratford
Yeah.
as making a pilgrimage. Is it a pilgrimage? A pilgrimage across Europe in your mother's stomach in the back of a transit van. It's not the same thing.
That is fair, but why this location? Like you can pretty much live anywhere, right? You can live in London, you can live anywhere. But why here?
Do you know what? I'm not really a big city person, to be
Okay,
honest. I
okay.
like the country. I like
Yeah.
shooting stuff. They don't
Yeah.
let you shoot stuff in the cities.
Well, it depends. If you come to East London, I can sort
You
it
can,
out.
yeah. I think it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
You can probably arrange it, but
Yeah.
I do think it's frowned upon.
Yeah.
But thanks anyway.
Yeah.
It's like the country and needs to be sort of within an hour of Grenade HQ, which is Solihull,
Okay.
and sort of fell in love with the house really.
Yeah.
Because I've got a gym, put a gym in. And a gin bar.
Have you got any links like to this area, like to your family or where you were raised
No,
or anything like that?
No, nothing around Stratford at all, to be
Really?
honest. So, no, nothing. But fell in love with the house, and
Yeah.
it was one of the only houses looked at actually that just
Yeah.
didn't need loads doing to it, and I just wanted to sort of put a gym in and do certain things. That was important,
Yeah.
and I could just kind of plonk my stuff in here, and that was it. It was kind of done. I haven't really got time for building work and stuff. So yeah, it just worked.
When did you move here into this area?
This was 6 years ago.
6 years ago. Okay. Oh,
And
cool.
it's like the gateway to the Cotswolds, and it's nice and quiet.
And if you need to get into London or wherever, it's not too far.
No, it's a couple of hours. I mean, obviously, it's a long way for you. In the back of a transit van.
Back of a transit van, yeah, but it's not too far, which is great.
Yeah, exactly.
And where is your family base? Where's your family base?
Right, so I've got a fairly small family actually. I've only got my sister, my mum and dad, that's it. But
Okay.
they are down in Dorset now, down
Okay.
in Poole. But they were original from Birmingham.
Okay.
Birmingham?
And you were raised in Birmingham?
Yep. All my life. Yeah,
Went to
raised in
school, secondary school.
Yep, secondary school, Hall Green Junior School,
Yeah.
Hall Green Secondary School, worked in gyms around Birmingham, always been around Birmingham, and then sort of the Solihull area, and then worked quite a bit around Coventry as well.
Yeah.
And yes, I know Stratford at all, really. I just fancied a change, but like I said, you don't get this type of unusual property around Birmingham. I mean, you probably will in London, but it's probably about 100 times the cost. And I'd have like half a parking space. I could park a lawnmower.
Yeah.
And that'd
you,
be it,
and you
if
still
you're
get,
lucky.
and you still get a parking fine as well.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
The mad thing. That's the mad
exactly.
thing.
So I like the privacy and
Yeah.
bit of peace and quiet.
Yeah. So obviously you're a very successful person. Well, to me you are anyway. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think that. I don't.
But
I mean, compared to you, I think I am. But compared to everyone else, no, I'm joking.
Yeah.
But I don't think that because I know so many people. And although to be fair, do you know what? If we're having this conversation, actually, I feel genuinely if that's the case. We've got health and happiness. And if you've got health and happiness, that's success.
Yeah.
So actually, I can't remember a time really when I haven't been successful. If that's the case, because people always
like
think
that.
that success is linked to wealth, and actually, it's not. It's nothing to do with wealth at all.
And what makes you happy?
Genuinely, being healthy, feeling well, really into my training.
Yeah.
Lost interest actually. I started training years ago to kind of look good.
Yeah.
As you know, most people do.
Yeah.
And I realised actually when I looked my best, I felt my worst. So, so just feeling well, feeling positive.
Yeah.
Having great people around me.
Yeah.
Just achieving stuff. I mean, we've done that hot air balloon recently, and that's been like 18 months.
I saw that. That looked.
It's awesome.
That took
isn't it?
18 months to sort out.
Yeah.
Really?
But believe it or not, it's not easy,
Yeah.
especially
Oh,
when Jenny's involved. Yeah, it's a long time. It's a long time. Trying to get to spell balloon.
Yeah. How do you even sort something like that out? Like, who do you call? I wouldn't know what to do.
Yeah, we just Yellow Pages and just
Yellow Pages, the
hot air balloon company. Can you make us a hot air balloon?
So it
please?
took them that long to actually build it.
Yeah, so it's tricky, and just the whole process of what we're going to use it for and getting sign off because they're not that cheap, funnily enough. But the point I was going to make is just doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you kind of start with an idea and a room full of excited people. And do this a lot at Grenade.
Yeah.
A room full of excited people. I'm like, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
And actually doing it, that makes me happy because that puts a smile on my face. And it's doing the stuff that no one else is doing.
Yeah.
And, building that brand that's got personality. And
Yeah.
there's so many things we do, you know, on a sort of daily, weekly, monthly basis, whether they're kind of, you know, sales related or stuff happening in other countries or getting new team members on board, just doing working with amazing people that we like.
Yeah.
Including you.
Including
I feel
me.
I should say that at the point, just in case. But not including
But
you.
you know what? That's why I was so like, I was actually excited to meet you, because I was like, in my head, if I'm ever in that, when I'm in that position when I'm older, right? When I'm your age, which is 52, is it? No,
that's right. Harsh. You said I'm going to look for my age.
No, you do look good. You do look
I'm
good.
40. I'm 43.
43, good man.
With
You
amazing,
look 35. You look 35.
With amazing nipples, I might add.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, you need to watch this just for the nipples alone.
Yeah, exactly. But I feel like when I'm your age, and if I ever get to the position that you're in, I feel like I would be a big kid. And this is why I was excited to meet you.
You say big kid, I think bell end.
No,
Same thing.
But the thing is, the way you're acting and the things that you do with your money and with your company is what people should be doing. A lot of people don't do things because they feel like maybe it's not professional or whatever it is. And whereas you guys seem like you do whatever you guys want to do. And everyone I've met that is working with you at the minute, like last week with the Influencer Games with you guys were there. When I met them, they're like, you can tell they actually love the company and love working with you and alongside you, which says a lot about yourself.
Yeah, that's really kind.
Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what as well? You know, we've learned a lot over the years and still continuing to learn. And again, that's again one of the things that makes me happy is, you know, working on a brand. The brand's never finished.
Yeah.
So, and as long as every day we're learning something, so it's never boring.
Yeah.
And, you know, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves, and I put a lot of pressure on myself because there's a lot of things we want to do, and I feel like, you know, I've got limited time to do it in. But if you're not having fun, you know, what's the point?
Yeah.
There's too much fakery in the fitness industry, and you guys know all about that.
Yeah.
We were just talking about this earlier. There's too much fakery. There's too many people who, again, probably look great, who are just miserable.
Yeah.
And they're portraying a certain character type over social media. And genuinely, I just like to, you know, we portray a certain thing, and that's us, you know, it's authentic. So I think then people that do meet myself and the extended team at Grenade, you know, what they're kind of expecting is exactly what they get, which I think is quite nice because I've met so many big influencers and big personalities that look great and big followings and, you know, successful people, let's say. And you meet them and they're just not that person. You think,
it's disappointing.
Is this the same guy?
It's
It is disappointing. And they always say, don't meet your idols and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But, you know, the amount of times I've met people that I've looked up to for years, namely, say, you know, Richard Branson, when I first met Richard, you know, it was really nice breath of fresh air because what I really had built up in my head, this image of what he was going to be like, he was even better than that, which is quite unusual, to be honest. So I think
Is he a friend of yours? I see him on a DP.
I mean, no, you know, we're not not friends. I mean, I was asked to write in his birthday card for him, so we sent him a birthday card and whatever, and he sent me a nice email last week saying I always have IT issues and everyone takes the piss.
Yeah.
And then Richard had IT issues and I didn't get the email he sent me, so he apologised and resent it, and then I screen grabbed and sent it to the team. I said, see, it's not just me that gets IT issues and stuff as well. But I mean, no, we do quite a bit of stuff with Virgin. So I'm a mentor for Virgin Startup, and really passionate in. I've been to South Africa to stay with Richard a couple of times at his game reserve. Been out to Necker to stay with Virgin Unite with Richard as well. So yeah, been on holiday 3 times. But again, just an amazing network of people that are really good people that want to just do things positively for good, which is nice because it's just unusual. And again, I got involved in the conservation stuff he was doing down in South Africa and had, you know, dare I say, quite a good impact in that. And again, sent us a lovely book and inviting that over. So yeah, it's been nice to just work with amazing people who we look up to. And I try and take a little bit of that and a little bit of that energy and try and sort of, you know, put it, you know, for it to run through Grenade like the heartbeat of Grenade, really. Because I think there's so few brands out there now with genuine personality. I think there's just a distinct lack of it.
And you can see through it. You can see it.
Like you can see through it. And you know what? You've got to have a world-class brand, product or service nowadays. That, you know, that's the minimum. But just having that genuine personality, I think, just goes a long way. And I think somehow, you know, consumers just pick up on that. And one thing actually, whether it's just because they say it to me or not, but I genuinely think actually, and you've said this as well, that anytime anyone kind of talk about Grenade, they sort of get excited. It brings out the kid in them, which actually I quite like because it makes me excited.
Yeah.
And you can't beat driving an orange tank through London.
No, of course. I mean, it's a way to make a scene, right? It is a way to make a scene.
And we just have fun. There's no ROI. We're not there to sell. We sample a bit. We're just kind of there to just do it because it's good fun. I don't really quite know if there's a specific reason as such, but I quite like the fact that there isn't, because I just think it's a good thing to do. And again, it brings out all the sort of all the people that the Greenpeace and stuff all come out saying we're polluting the planet and killing everyone and whatever. And then we say it runs on vegetable oil and they're fine. Because they love that. Oh, that's doesn't amazing. Really, it runs on mix of petrol and diesel, but they don't know that.
They don't need to know that. They don't need to know that. So talking about your friends and everything, you've got like Richard Branson, right? You're on a level with him, obviously. Would you say, do you have any mentors? As you were growing, as you were like developing your business, as you were developing like your personality, because I mean, to run a business, to manage people, all of that stuff, I feel like you need to be around a certain people where you can learn from, like you said, good vibes. And I think with the friends that you have, and I know that more, especially in the last year, I've learned that so much. I feel like I've outgrown some of my friends that I was raised with, and it's kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
Are you saying you're now better than your friends?
No, you said that.
I said it. He's thinking it.
Yeah.
Are you specifically thinking Paul and Luke?
I don't. Paul. If you're talking about Paul Lima, yeah.
Oh yeah, that Paul. Yeah. I meant the other Paul, but both Pauls. Anyone called Paul?
Yeah, anyone called Paul. Anyone called Paul.
Ditch him.
Do you feel like it makes a big difference who you hang around with, who you're friends with, or who you have as a mentor makes a different
it does actually.
On you.
It does. And do you know what? You made a point about friends. Now I've got a really, really broad set of friends.
Yeah.
So I say that when I first worked in a gym when I was like 15 years old and work experience, I'm still friends with a lot of people from that gym. And some of them are dustbin men. Some of them are run their own businesses or multimillionaires. Some work at Jaguar Land Rover or whatever. All walks of life. And again, I've got friends who are billionaires. Yeah. And I guarantee you, if we put, apart from the ones that were sort of well known, if we put everyone in a room here, and we did this actually we had a party for my 40th a few years ago, and invited everyone came, and you couldn't tell who was who. So if you'd have come along, you wouldn't have known if they were, a billionaire or worked at in a car factory or wherever. You couldn't tell who was who. And I think that's just because I don't really care what people do or what they've got or whatever.
It's not important.
It isn't. I want to be around people that I like, who are nice, positive people. To be honest, that I can learn from, and you can learn stuff from everyone. And the question about mentorship is important. And I first read Richard's book. Oh God, I read it in the States years ago, probably about 2002ish, I think. Yeah. And I had a different business back then, and I learned so much by reading that book. So Richard certainly wasn't a mentor, certainly back then. But I decided I wanted to meet him because I learned so much from this book, and again, like I said, if you're not learning, you're kind of not just standing still, you're probably running backwards. Yeah. And you have got to surround yourself just with people that you can learn from. Again, the first gym that I worked at, I learned loads from those guys, how to run a gym, how not to run a gym. I learned loads about how personality goes a long way. Yeah. People coming in and out the gym, coming and going, and what people did. And I learned that just knowing people's name meant a lot. We had like 500 members, and I knew everyone's name. Yeah. And that meant
goes such a long way.
It goes a long way when you learn people's names, definitely. Yeah. And I learned then that probably qualifications weren't that important. So I dropped out of school. Yeah. So I never did A levels, never went to university. Were you switched on at school? Like, were you? Yeah, I was really bright at school, but I just hated it because it just wasn't for me. Okay. So
you were smarter than the teachers, innit? Like thingy wise, as in the sense of
maybe.
I can tell because I bet you had a comment. If they said something, you'd probably question.
I was a horrible child. Yeah. But think about so for instance, I've got not so much now, but when I was a kid, I had a really photographic memory. Okay. So I could just see a word once and I could spell it. And I remember them giving me like these, and I just used to keep spelling all these words, and they keep giving you have these spelling tests every week. And at this entire time in infant school, I'd never spelt a word wrong, and I was kind of known for it. Okay, and it was just any word, and I was spelling words like rhododendron and rhinoceros. I don't know if I can spell rhododendron now.
I still can't spell that right now.
And stuff like that. And Mississippi, and I was 6.
You were 6?
6.
Oh wow!
So I remember the teacher once wrote Mississippi on the board, and I said, "Oh, you've spelt that wrong."
No.
And she went, no, I haven't. I said, you have? I said, you've missed an essay. It's MISSISSISSI. Basically. And she's like, you got the dictionary. That's prove you wrong. Of course, I was right.
No way.
Never spoke to me again. But yes, it wasn't. So as such, I found school boring.
Yeah.
Because I just wasn't really learning anything.
Yeah. Because you had no interest in probably
not
any
really.
of the,
Not really.
Right?
And again, I always wanted to be an entrepreneur when I was like sort of 12 years old.
Yeah.
So, and no one really knew what an entrepreneur was.
Yeah.
But on one hand, I was expected to conform because I was kind of quite bright and people wanted me to go and have like a sensible job.
Yeah.
And on the other hand, I want to be an entrepreneur. I love training.
Yeah.
And training wasn't a thing then, like, in sort of like mid-80s. But I wanted to train because all the big movie stars were like Arnold Schwarzenegger and Van Damme and Dolph Lundgren. And I was skinny, I want to look like him.
Yeah, yeah.
So I just wanted to kind of, look good.
Yeah.
And again, like, looking at the likes of Arnold, who sort of, again, came to the US as like a kid with nothing, and then became one of the world's biggest movie stars.
Yeah.
You just think actually that he's just done that just because of how he looks. That's just bodybuilding.
I feel like that's every bodybuilder's dream to have that sort of
life.
life. But he was like him and his generation. I'm like, they're the generation that I love when it comes to bodybuilding. After that, I'm a bit like, no, you guys are getting too corny. Their old school stuff is the best.
So I took a lot from that. And again, the mentorship piece is interesting. So around mentors, I had a guy, still talk to actually now, called Stuart Sapkert, who was a big property developer, and he was my one and only personal training client at the Chapel Gym in Sturchley in like 1992.
Yeah.
And this guy got like 4 Ferraris and stuff. And again, just the nicest guy, really switched on with business, and training was really important to him. He was a really busy guy, and he just had like this 1 or maybe 2 hours a week to train, turn his phone off, and he chose to spend that time with me in the gym, which was nice. So again, and I just learned loads, how to treat people, and the stuff he'd do, he'd tell me about deals, and so why don't you do that? And he'd go, oh yeah, because that would happen, and just all the time I was just learning. So had him, a guy called John Sterling as well, who again still talk to every week, who he'd built up a big supplement business called Cultec and Biocare, bought and sold Biocare. Again, super nice guy, really bright, really interesting guy actually. He cured himself of cancer, not once but twice. He had a malignant melanoma in the 1970s, which is just like a death sentence.
Oh, yeah.
And fantastic biochemist, and cured himself of cancer. And again, you can learn stuff off people like
that.
Really interested in supplements, and I was interested in training, and there weren't really supplements then.
Yeah.
So I was kind of one of the first early pioneers of supplements, trying to make it a bit easier because it's so difficult to eat all that food without the convenience. So I was always fascinated by supplements and performance. I've always surrounded myself with people I can learn from, and that's super important. Everyone should do that.
Don't you think when I was like PTing in the gym in Sydney, London, everywhere I was like, I don't think I'm going to be a PT for the rest of my life, in the sense as in a gym. I knew I always wanted more, and I was like, whoever is gonna take me to the next level, I'm like, I'm probably going to meet that person in the gym.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. You have like your clients, your rich clients that pay you 50, 60 quid a week, whatever, when you're PTing. It's like they want to look after you, right? And I think PTs that make more in the sense of doing other things with their life are the ones with personality that people like yourself, and they want to help you. And I think that's why personality is so important, right?
There's a lot about being kind of... and these aren't my words. Actually, someone called. They said this about myself and my wife a couple of years ago. They said they're kind of lovable entrepreneurs, and I think with us, people always did stuff for us, probably for that reason. They didn't really have to help, but they kind of wanted to.
Yeah.
And that's quite nice.
It's because you're nice to be around.
Yeah. Okay.
Do you know what I mean?
Not really.
You're
That's
nice
James,
to be around.
But I'm amazing to be around, aren't I? He's got to say that. Otherwise,
He's got to say that.
He knows
He's got to say that.
sacked.
Yeah. But you realise people with personality, and I'm not gonna lie, I feel like anything that's happening to me right now is because I've actually been like a good person, a nice person, or whatever it is, and it opens doors.
It does. Do you know what?
And you just got to take your opportunities.
There's an old proverb, and I quite like an old proverb, and this is really true. And it's you reap what you sow.
Yeah.
And genuinely, if you go around being shitty with everyone and shitting on people and saying you're going to do something and not doing it and doing things badly and letting people down and lying to people and whatever, and I've known people like that, and I've cut them out of my life. The first chance I get, because that's just And, these people, again, potentially sometimes have become successful business people.
Yeah.
But that's not success.
But it doesn't last. It doesn't
No,
last
it doesn't.
for them.
It doesn't, because eventually, do you know what? All the people that you tread on
Yeah.
the way up all kick a lot harder
Yeah.
on the way back down.
So
I think, and we like I said, if we're saying that success and wealth are linked, which I just don't think they are.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter how wealthy or successful you are, you're going to have hard times.
Yeah.
Literally, I mean, I was in South Africa. Wasn't last year before, with Richard and the team, and he just was not himself at all.
Okay.
And I even said, you got the weight of the world on your shoulders. Is everything all right? And basically, I can't go into all the details, but he had been doing some business out in the Middle East with a certain Middle Eastern government who were potentially implicated in that journalist being killed in the embassy.
Okay.
And basically, because they were a backer of, I think it was one of the Virgin business. I think it was Hyperloop or something.
Yeah.
And he literally, and obviously this government were implicated in basically a murder.
Yeah.
And he'd picked up the phone to whoever that was involved in this investment and just said, "Did you have anything to do with this?" And the person didn't answer. So he knew that the fact that they did, but the fact they didn't answer. So he did not take their money, and it was $1 billion.
Wow. Okay.
So
it doesn't mean.
And the reason he was quiet was he was basically thinking where could he replace that $1 billion by doing business for somebody he wanted to do business with.
Yeah.
And I learned something there, and the fact integrity is expensive.
Yeah, you're right.
So, but again, you can imagine, he was writing a list of all the people he was going to pick the phone up and say, "Can I have $1 billion?"
Yeah.
I wasn't one of them.
Yeah.
But that's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because you'd think after 50 years in business, you'd kind of be untouchable, but you're not. You're never untouchable.
It just
You're
shows
kind
it's
of
not
only
happiness, right? Money's not
Yeah,
happiness.
no, not at all. But you made a point about your friends as well. But I tell you, I was making a point about my friends. My friends have never ever held me back. Hence why I'm still friends with all my friends. I've never lost a friendship I wanted to keep.
Yeah.
My friends have never held me back. But if your friends are holding you back, you need new friends.
Right, and I feel like that's a big problem, because a lot of people feel like they owe things to their friends when their friends have actually done nothing with them. Because sometimes you'll get friends where you're friends with, say someone in primary school, right? And you've been friends with them for such a long time, and you haven't been comfortable enough to get outside your box or whatever it is to make new friends. And some people feel like they need to be really loyal to their oldest friends, but when really it's not really a healthy relationship. And I think there's that element of pressure. But you're saying any people that held you back, you just cut them off straight away. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, and don't get me wrong, when we launch Grenade, you're always going to get people say, "Don't do it." And that's not necessarily them holding you back. I mean, my parents have never wanted to hold me back, but they were the first people to say, "Don't do it," because it's risky and they care about me.
Yeah.
So that's not the same thing. There are people, I think, who try and hold you back because they worry about you, and that's probably fine.
Yeah.
Because they're sort of scared, and I kind of like being scared. I like the fear.
It's the edge,
I love the fear. Yeah, it's all about the fear. It's all about the fear. So if you're not scared, then you're probably not pushing hard enough.
100%.
So the minute I kind of get comfortable, and I had a really successful business prior to Grenade, but I kind of get really comfortable in it, which actually scared me.
Yeah,
but for the wrong reasons.
I always say you need to be comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that's probably the definition of an entrepreneur as well. You've actually got to be outside that comfort zone.
Yeah.
But then if you get people who hold you back and just do not want you to do well, that's different, because they're not your friends. So you need to really decide, which is which.
Yeah.
In that sense. And again, you do kind of realise probably who your friends are. I mean, I've got my oldest school friend, been friends for 38 years now.
Yeah.
And I can not talk to him for a couple of years. But then, funnily enough, the last month or so, I've spoken to him more in the last month than in the last 30 years.
Yeah.
Just for various reasons. Yeah. And you can just pick the phone up. And that's kind of a true friend, I think, that you can just kind of pick the phone up to. Yeah. And again, something else I've learned as well you should never do is you should never have any involvement with sort of family and friends and money and anything like that, because that is an absolute recipe for disaster.
Okay.
You could do an entire podcast on that.
Really?
Oh, God,
and you've got experience in that?
Yeah, everyone has.
Really? Are your family, mum, dad, they're all happy for you with what you're doing? Did they see, obviously, like you said, there is that element of fear, because your family want the best for you, right?
Yeah.
But to be able to push that, you need to push your boundaries. And when all this was happening, Grenade, yourself, did they see, like, you at a young age, did you see, number one, where you were heading, and did they? And how was their response to that?
Yeah, I mean, I probably, people had said to me, especially my mum actually said, you know, and actually the teacher said to my mum, your son's either going to be a multimillionaire or he's going to prison.
Sick.
Basically, it was kind of one of the two.
Yeah.
And I haven't been to prison yet.
Not yet.
So yeah, they were kind of concerned that I would kind of think and do things differently. So like, I was always the guy selling stuff at school, and making more money than the teachers and stuff.
You know what? Yeah, that's like me. I used to go when I used to work at JD Sports, right, in Oxford Street.
Were you stealing stuff and selling all the clothes?
No, my manager loved me, right? But you know when there isn't a lot of stock on the shelves, they put him in the warehouse. He used to give me the scanner, and I used to get it for like £2, right? And I used to go to college and sell it.
Nice.
Yeah, and then I used to go see my girlfriend in Australia with the money that I made from it. And I used to love the buzz, and I used to be like, why is this so exciting?
Because I think it's creating something from nothing almost.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of an edge, innit? Like you just.
Yeah, but you know what? It's exciting. So,
Yeah.
but again, it's like I find business really exciting.
Yeah.
Just for that reason.
Yeah.
I couldn't just go and do like the same thing every day.
Yeah.
I just like kind of starting with something and kind of turning into something because that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, my parents. So I don't know if they were kind of disappointed for me when I kind of started bumming around the gym.
Okay.
To be honest, my dad actually said, you're wasting your life. And do you know what, though? 99.9% of the time, he would have been right. But I just think I'm one of those people that if I'm in an environment, I'll kind of make the best out of that situation. And, you know, I think inevitably, or you can't hold certain people back. Yeah. So I think, you know, some of it's inevitable. It might take a long time. But I think sometime we were chatting earlier about, you know, about Stan Lee from Marvel, and, you know, probably made no money the vast majority of his life, but eventually it kind of came good because you were just never going to hold that guy back because he was just too creative, too passionate. It was going to come good. And I think eventually, like, you know, modern times kind of caught up with him and people realised what a great idea it was.
Yeah.
So I'd like to think that at some point, and again, my parents would say, actually, we knew you'd do well just in anything really, because you're just that type of person. If I said I was going to go and do it as a kid, I'd go and do it. I was always very determined, even when I was like 4. You know, if I said I was going to go and dig a hole, I'd be digging a hole all day, and it'd be the biggest hole anyone could dig out the street.
I feel like some people, that mentality, they either have it or they don't. I know I've got that mentality from my dad. My dad's very much like that.
Yeah.
Was any of your parents like that, or is that something you just like had?
Do you know what? They're exceptionally hard workers, my whole family.
Okay, yeah.
But the problem being, well, so not the problem, but the result being really that they'd never made any money from all their efforts.
Yeah.
So one of the things I learned, again, back to this kind of mentorship piece, and again, loads off my dad.
Yeah.
Funnily enough, dad's super shy.
Okay.
And being shy kind of got him nowhere.
Yeah.
So, and I was actually quite shy at school, and I thought, actually, I don't want to be shy like my dad because that's not going to help me in life. So I made a conscious effort then not to be shy and started acting and doing school plays and reading stuff. And actually, I hated initially to kind of get me out of the comfort zone, which again surprises everyone.
But you pushed yourself out of that.
Yeah, you push yourself out of it because again, you know, I mean, my uncle, like his brother, had shyness, right, to a whole other level. I mean, nowadays, I don't know what you'd call it. It's probably like almost a form of autism, but my uncle was so shy, he never left home.
What?
Right? So he died at home at 74, right, still living with his mom, who was like 99, my nan. He never left home. He never had a girlfriend, so he never got married, and he had the same job.
Did he have a lot of anxiety?
His entire life.
Maybe.
Do you know, I wouldn't know because I barely ever said 2 words to him because, again, he was so painfully shy. He never went into a shop.
What?
In his whole life, yeah. So my mum and dad used to go clothes shopping for him. He was just painfully shy. I said, my dad, shy, you know, but nowhere near to that extent. Yeah. But I think kind of like a family trait. But yeah, died at work at 74, had a stroke and went to work.
What?
So he was a heavy goods vehicle mechanic, which was a business between him, my dad, his brother, and their dad. It was a family business. So again, didn't really need to communicate with anyone outside that 3 people. So yeah, I used to go and work there Saturdays. I hated it. Yeah. And I got no interest in mechanics and how things work, but you know, it was kind of like it was 10 quid and I needed the money. So I'd go and work, and yeah, he came into work on Saturday morning and it was like his face had dropped, and I was like, you know, Brian, you all right? He said, I think I've had a stroke. I'm like, you've definitely had a stroke. But he didn't know what else to do. But it's kind of like, it's so sad.
Yeah,
it's so sad.
I know what you mean.
And he, you know, he passed away not long after. And I remember like myself, my mum and dad went out and just like emptied his room, like, you know, at my nan's house. And, you know, nan's still alive. And you sort of expect to bury your parents, but you don't expect to bury your kids.
No, of course.
And I remember like, you know, saying to my nan, yeah, my nan's going, well, he wasn't old. He was really nan. He was like 74. She went, well, that's not old. I went, it is really, like, you're really old, nan. But, you know, I mean, can you imagine just at that age, like, about your son? But he had nothing to show for it. Like, he was really, really sad. And these are all things that you learn.
Yeah.
Because you just think, I don't want to be that guy. You know, you don't want to be that guy at all.
When you saw that, were you like, I don't want that?
Oh God, no. Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, his dad, my granddad, he went blind and went to work. And he was like a mechanic, but again, he didn't know what else to do. So it was
Hustlers,
just, but do you know what? And I thought, oh God, you know, I've got that work ethic.
Yeah.
I've got the work
really
ethic.
Important, yeah,
but, sure. And again, Dad being shy, he'd do work, he wouldn't charge people for it. I remember one Christmas, you know, this was like, I was only a young kid, but, you know, it was, Dad would get a phone call, and like he was a heavy goods vehicle mechanic, so like a coach had broken down in Cornwall. And this is before like the motorway was built, before the M5 was built. So Cornwall then was like probably a 10-hour drive, from Birmingham. Yeah. And I remember like the phone going, and Dad, and like 5-6 o'clock Christmas morning, Dad having to leave to go out on this breakdown, and like Mum saying to him, if you go, don't bother coming back. Literally. I know, he didn't go. Okay. But the thing was, again, he wouldn't have billed them for it because he was kind of too nice. He'd have forgotten or something. Yeah. And again, I learned a lot from that. And you think, you know, so people kind of took advantage.
Yeah, which is a weird thing with business. You've got to be careful in it because...
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, do you know what? I believe ultimately in business, and I say it's actually all of our suppliers, being fair. We never go around nailing people's hats on when it comes to cost. You know, I want a great service for a fair price. Yeah. You know, that's it. You know, I don't want a phenomenal service, for a cheap price or whatever. But you know, you've really got sort of, you know, quality, price or service, and you can't really have all three. So you've got to kind of pick. Yeah. So you know, we're quite fortunate in the sense that we will always go premium. So price for us then is the least important factor because we'll pay more, but we can sell it for a bit more. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, the quality and the service are critical for us.
With your family and stuff, like going through all of that, right? You obviously come from a background, no money, pretty much, right?
Oh yeah.
You were talking about earlier. You told me.
I had free school dinners.
Yeah.
I was the only kid in the school that had free school dinners. I remember that fucking green ticket.
Yeah.
But it was like the walk of shame. Yeah. So because I was the only person with the green ticket, I'd never stayed in school. And I hated school anyway. Yeah. So I never stayed in school to have that, to collect that meal. Okay. I'd walk home, which was a mile and a quarter, to like have 10 minutes in the house, just grab a sandwich and just walk back and again. Walk back just again. So I spent the lunch hour just walking. So I walked like 5 miles a day.
Neat up 24/7, innit?
Absolutely, yeah. Or feet up 24/7, which is our own version. Yeah, we're going to try and get feet up 24/7 trending because let's face it, it's cleverer.
You told me earlier you were in the arcade before when you were younger and you had no money to play games, right? When all this stuff happened for you and like what I see as successful anyway, do you look after your family and your friends?
Yeah, so we've done all of that. Okay. And that, you know, to varying degrees, which is really
Is that
tricky.
Rewarding? Like with your family?
It is initially. Okay. And then it's not.
Okay, really? Okay.
It's really difficult because, you know, at what point, how much is enough? What do you do? Yeah. And again, I won't use my example, but I'll use a friend's example. So a friend of mine he's a billionaire. Yeah. We had this exact conversation. So he kind of looked after all of his family out to like second cousin level, in the sense they all got bought a house, they all bought a car, they all got a £30,000 a year allowance kind of on top of their jobs, and they all the kids had a private education.
Jeez, if I did that, I'm Turkish. I've got 69 first cousins.
You're fucked. I'm fucked. Being a billionaire would not be enough.
Legit. What a number. 60, it wouldn't be enough. Imagine that.
Yeah, you might want to start working on that then. Yeah. But then the amount of issues it causes. Yeah. Because then, you know, let's say someone within that extended family becomes ill. Yeah, okay. And then, so you think, okay, so you're helping everyone to a point, and then people talk. And then, so you have to do a little bit more for someone else potentially, and then someone else becomes ill, and then you don't help them because it's a different illness, and then they talk, and then you help, then you didn't help me, and you can kind of see the problems. So unfortunately, and don't get me wrong, you know, I've had money and I've not had money, and I know which I prefer. Yeah. But all it does kind of take away, it gives you options. It gives you options, definitely, but I guarantee you, it creates more problems than it solves. I guarantee you, because sometimes then something you would do, and I've had this situation. I'll give you an exact situation. So I went out with some friends and went for a meal, and we had a meal, and they told us they were expecting the first child. So we were like, yep, fantastic. So, we'd like this meal's on us. So we paid for the meal. And then the following day, got a phone call from them because they were quite insulted we paid for the meal because that made us flash. So,
here we go.
So we're like, okay. And I could hear like one side of the conversation, and I could tell what the problem was. So I was just thinking, look, all right, they can pay for the meal then. Thanks very much. They owe us 160 quid. At which point they told us that we were tight.
What? Yes, you know what? That's a mad thing with family and friends and that. And even like, I feel like sometimes with family.
So we didn't go out for dinner with them again?
Not again. That's not happening again, yeah.
But you know what I hate, right? No-win situations. Because I'm competitive. So about you. So I want a chance of winning.
Yeah.
But if you're flash if you pay and you're tight if you don't, there's no point going.
Yeah. I guess that's
because either way, you've lost, haven't you?
But it's important to have people around you that understand who you are. So therefore not get offended or even take advantage of you or appreciate what you're doing for them or whatever. And I feel like sometimes with family, maybe someone in your position or whatever, when you give, I guess people start to not appreciate what they're having. And then it makes them a little bit lazy. And then you're getting fucked either way because then you're going to have to...
Yeah, so again, now again, I know people, again, whose kids have been brought into just immeasurable wealth, no fault of their own at all. But when you're born into that, and again, I feel a bit sorry for them in a way.
I don't wish that on any child.
No, do you know what? So there's 3 ways, I think. Well, there's probably maybe 4 ways of probably obtaining money. Probably stealing it, which I wouldn't. Don't do that. Yeah. But certainly, I mean, you can inherit it, you can win it, or you can earn it.
Yeah.
And I think there's only one of the 3 there that's worth doing, and that's earning it.
Yeah.
Because the discipline you acquire over earning that wealth, you need when it comes to distributing it or spending it, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many times have we heard the phrase like the curse of the lottery, people that win the national lottery,
and
then that money's gone because they go and buy 3 helicopters,
yeah,
as you do, and shit like that. But then, why wouldn't you? Because you wouldn't necessarily know what they cost or why. Yeah, exactly.
You don't know how to manage it.
Yeah, you're not learning anything. And again, they give, all the family and friends £1 million or whatever. And it does kind of go.
When I'm at that level,
when you're going to look after me.
Yeah, I'll look after you, man. You're all good. Anytime. My dad's kebab shop in East London, come through.
Lovely. I look forward to
that. But with
that.
my kids, I'm gonna just go drop them off in the hood and be like, you survive for the next few years, you come back to me.
Absolutely.
I reckon it would be a good favour for them. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what I think the key is for this sort of stuff? And I know people that have done this actually, and they've given them a deposit for the first flat or the house or whatever, or whatever they've earned, they've matched it.
Yeah.
And there's ways of doing stuff that mean that those kids have got to do a certain amount of stuff themselves.
Yeah. So they can learn.
Yeah, without just going, there you go. And it sounds kind of like cruel, but it's honestly, it's not being cruel. Because again, I've known...
You grow from struggle.
I had this conversation with a friend of mine actually over his daughter, and he was just giving her everything.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm not being funny. I said, look, it's nothing to do with me, but you think you're helping her.
You're not.
You're hurting her.
100%.
I said, he never actually spoke to me again.
And he's going to call... But it's mad, isn't it, how people don't want to hear the truth.
Yeah.
And
because actually as well, with her, it was just making her just like a, daddy's little girl sort of bitch, to be honest. But that wasn't her, it was kind of, she was a lovely girl. But then as soon as she needed something, it was just there. And it's like, it sounds crazy, but I went out to get, to some shopping yesterday. And something this is going to sound really stupid, something I miss, and I try and actually keep this going. Sometimes when you can go out and just buy something, it takes the fun out of it.
Yeah.
So I remember my first house, again, where you've got no money at all and you think those bills are never going to stop hitting the mat. And, you need a lawnmower and a vacuum cleaner, and you can only buy one. And you're not going to vacuum your lawn or whatever. So, not again. And lawnmower's not great on carpet.
Yeah.
Don't do that again either.
I won't do that again.
Yeah, so... but, you kind of have to save up and pick, and then you kind of really sort of research it, don't you, into it's kind of you almost savor the experience, because sometimes it's nice to look forward to having something as opposed to just going and getting it. And that's why people get bored.
100%. And that's when they go crazy and their happiness goes away. Do you feel like the most exciting part for you, or maybe it's not, is that phase where you're kind of struggling, but you're kind of close to doing something big, and you're excited because it might happen, but you're taking a risk, but it might go the other way as well. is that
You
like
talking
your
about the
best
first time you have sex with a new girl? Because it
Talking
sort of
about-
sounds like that. Well, you think it might happen.
I don't know.
You're close,
The
but
eye-
there's nerves there.
the eye
back
contact-
of-
the eye
back of your
contact you're
head,
giving me
It's getting
feels like-
sexual. It's getting sexual. Yeah, the back of your head, you're thinking, no hard on. Think, no, don't think no. We used to do it to our friends.
Yeah.
We used to at the door. We used to go, no hard on.
Yeah.
You bastard.
But would you say that's your most exciting time? Not the
I
sexual
forgot what the
bit.
question was now.
I'm talking about the
yeah,
struggle when you like do
yeah.
that jump where you're like, you know what, I'm kind of comfortable now.
Yeah.
As in, I'm kind of safe.
I'm not
safe
one of
right
these
now.
people, but you never say about it's like the chase, in a relationship or something, and the chase is more
yeah.
exciting. So yeah, maybe I think the trying to the pursuit of trying to obtain something, depending. Well, it sounds a bit stalkerish now. Depending what it is,
No,
I do think it's exciting. I honestly can't imagine. Well, I can imagine worse things than this, but if someone just kind of won money and then just went and bought stuff, and I can guarantee you're going to be bored and miserable really
100%.
quickly.
They won't know what to do with
No,
it, right?
I just guarantee, and people will think I'm crazy for saying that,
Yeah.
but I guarantee I'm right.
Yeah. Well, obviously, being in this house, right, looking at my future house and that.
You're not moving in. Just to clarify, he's not moving in.
No. I'm buying you out, big man.
Yeah. No, good, fine. Yeah, you can.
How was,
I'm literally going to strip it bare. I'm going to take all the light switches. I'm going to leave dead rats in places.
We'll sort that out, man.
Yeah.
We'll sort that out.
I wouldn't stitch you up.
How
I'm
was,
taking the gin bar.
Yeah, you can take the bar. How was during COVID and isolation? How was all that? How did that hit you? Not business wise, like you mentally. Were you like, what the fuck's going on?
So I generally, that was really good for me personally.
Okay.
In terms of, and I'll clarify that, because obviously these are really, really troubled times. I'm not trivializing it because it's the biggest challenge we've probably ever faced.
Yeah.
And it just mean, as the globe. But everyone, including and especially me, was really in that rat race, in the office every day, sat in traffic, stressed out. Everywhere I was, I had to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And, traveling a lot, going to fairly obscure places, going to the States for the day and stuff.
For the day?
There was at one point, there was, I didn't go, but it happened several times, but we've launched in Australia, it's going really well. And I was going to have to go to Australia for the day.
What?
I'm not
That's
joking,
crazy.
but I'd have gone.
Yeah.
I'd have gone. I was literally in the throes of just booking
The good
flights.
thing is, by the time you come back, you wouldn't have suffered with jet lag.
No, exactly. No, you want to start-
That's the
when
good
there's,
thing.
there's
That's
no
the
point
good
resetting
thing.
your watch, is there? But we joke about that, but that's not fun. That's some things that you kind of have to do. So in a way, it was kind of nice when
You had no FOMO.
it took the pressure off.
Yeah,
It did take the pressure off, because for the first time ever, and this will never happen again in our lifetimes, the government were like, don't do anything. Don't leave your house. Don't go to work. So obviously we all worked exceptionally hard from home, but it was like just being told, just you don't have to do this stuff for the next 3 weeks, initially, was kind of like, oh, okay, wow. I mean, I would never
You'd never
have
do
done
that.
that. No,
You'd never do
no
that.
one would ever do that.
No one would ever do that.
So it was like, wow. And I just think it was a really good opportunity. Again, back to learning, it was a really good opportunity to focus on the business in different ways. So we started to focus on operational stuff that we never get time to do. So actually, when a lot of business went online, and I mean, even Amazon, their one-day delivery promise kind of fell apart, pretty much still has, and delivery times, got longer and longer and longer, we actually shortened ours. So we improved our service on grenade.com, so then if you order then up to midnight, basically, you'd get stuff the next day.
Sick, yeah.
And no one, it's like world-class service, no one's doing that. And I know we were getting complaints of consumers that were ordering at literally 11:59, and it hadn't gone through because it went through 12:01 just time down. They didn't get the stuff the next day.
Yeah.
And then I was like, God, that's harsh.
Yeah,
But they're technically right. So we did have to take the cut off to 11:30.
Okay, yeah.
Just so we could sort of do it. But yeah, so we made sure when everyone else was kind of getting worse, we made sure we got better. So we kind of did the opposite. And then a lot, we stock was demand was really outstripping supply. So we just had to juggle. We got stuff on the way to the States that we pulled back, and again, that was actually for the NHS. So we gave them stuff that was actually supposed to go into the US.
I was going to say about that. You know what? Obviously everyone was going up and clapping and stuff. It's amazing, right?
Yeah.
But you know what? The mad thing is when it comes down to it, and if people turn around and said, "Hey guys, we're going to take £10 a week off your salary to give towards the NHS or whatever," most people are like, "Whoa, what's going on?" The clapping's all good and that.
Yeah.
But I saw a picture of a lorry with loads of grenade bars. that you sent to the NHS?
Yeah, we sent 3.5 lorry loads.
3.5 lorries.
Yeah, there was about 250,000 cans. It was the right thing to do. It was an expensive thing to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was the right thing to do at the time. You know, there was, and again, you know, that was kind of brand new stock that was going into a Tesco launch. And we were sitting. It was really weird actually. We were sitting in a meeting. It was just before lockdown. This started, and there were about 8 of us sat down in the boardroom at Grenade, and we were chatting away. And I said, wouldn't it be amazing if we could sort of figure out how to like donate stuff, you know, to the NHS and to hospitals in kind of a way that didn't sort of screw them up, you know, and if we got a contact for that. And you know, like your phone is like listening to you basically all the time, and like stuff happens.
Yeah.
And I get a lot of messages on LinkedIn anyway. And at that point, I had a message on LinkedIn, and it was from an anaesthetist, Dr. Kate Brunning, I think her name was. And she just said, you know, would you be able to send us some stuff like to our ward, and you know, we love your stuff and would like working long shifts. So I was like, great, we'll sort of start with her. So I said, like, and it was in the middle of the conversation. It was bizarre how it happened. So
you manifested it.
Yeah, but I think I thunk it, and it happened.
Yeah.
So then we sort of did that, and then it spiraled from there, and then we ended up shipping thousands and thousands of care packages to hospitals and shipping all this stuff out. And then Ron Dennis actually rang me at 8 o'clock one Sunday morning and woke me up, saying about you know, he was doing this project as well for like Salute the NHS.
Yeah.
And I said, that's great, Ron, you know, we've just done that. And he went, well, he said, I want to do it as well. He said, we're going to provide 1 million meals for the NHS, and one of the top things they're asking for is like protein bars, and can you give us protein bars?
Wicked.
I said, I've just done it.
Yeah.
And he went, we do it again. I'm like,
but you know what? Then. He's probably seen that from you, right? And you've influenced people to do like better for the nation, better for the frontline workers.
And he's got more money than I've got. So
he should have doubled.
Oh no, he's an amazing bloke. And again, so he did that, and I'd messaged the guys. And the nice thing is with the team at Grenade is no one ever says no.
Yeah. And
I think it's because I probably wouldn't. I will take no for an answer. It's got to be a good reason.
Yeah.
But also the team we've got there, no one would say no, because again, it's the right thing to do.
Yeah.
So we always try and look after military charities and stuff. And you know, you can't get.
You do love the military, innit?
I do love the military stuff. Yeah. They love me.
Yeah, they do.
I don't really.
What is it that you love about the military?
So I've always been interested in, and so my we're all from Birmingham, my family, but my mum and dad have got a caravan down in Poole, a place called, it was called Rockley Sands back in the day, but it's Rockley Park now. And my nan had like caravans there since the 1950s, so, and we'd never got any money, but like our family holidays were going to this caravan. So I spent a lot of time on the south coast as a kid around Poole, and the Royal Marine Base was next door. So my dad was never into sport. I've never been interested in rugby or cricket, anything like that. But my dad was interested in the military, and my grandparents had both been in the military in the Second World War. So I kind of grew up with that and watching these guys train. I remember like being 8, 9 years old, standing at like this fence and just watching these guys train, doing the gun running, and I was really interested in that sort of physical fitness and stuff as well. So that was familiar to me. And like, a good day out when I was a kid was like going to Bovington Army Base, and they'd have like a mock battle with the tanks. And I remember once I was in the back of this, we went to like a Navy day, I think at Portsmouth, and there was a destroyer in there, and there was a general purpose machine gun on the back of this boat. And I started like sort of messing with it. And there was like a sailor sort of standing there. And my mum said, "Don't touch that, Alan. You leave it alone." And he said, "It's all right. He said, "I won't be able to do it." And I'd stripped it down, basically, and then reassembled it, as you do. And he was like, "That's really quick. How do you know how to do that?" So I was just interested in that sort of stuff. And I was in the Army Cadets when I was 13.
Oh, okay.
Which again was just a.
But you didn't want to go ahead with like.
No, I couldn't at the time because of eyesight. So I would have loved to be in the Royal Marines, but I wore glasses. Yeah,
your eyesight?
So
really?
I've had laser eye surgery since. But when I was 12, I started wearing glasses, and then back then wearing glasses kind of stopped you doing anything.
Yeah.
Sort of stopped you going in the police, stopped me going in the military.
Would you have done what you would have been told though? I feel like no.
Do you know what? I've joking aside, I've had this conversation many times now with friends of mine who are in like elite British military. And the general consensus is I would not have been very good in the elite military just because I'm too hard.
You're too what?
Hard.
You're too hard.
Not sexually. But just, well, that as well. Yeah. But no, I'm too tough. Hard. Okay. Hard, isn't it? Hard, isn't it? You know what hard means.
Okay, that's what I was waiting for. Now
hard.
Too hard, isn't it?
Too hard.
Bruv, yes.
Yeah, bruv. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
now
too
I
hard.
understand.
But I'd have been too lethal.
Yeah, okay.
Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I mean, like,
you are an absolute weapon. You know what I mean?
Please. Yeah.
You are actually a lot bigger than what I thought you'd be.
Thing is, imagine going to the I'll sort this Middle Eastern shit out, right? Give me half a day. Half a day.
Tops. Half a day and a rifle.
Tops, yeah. Half a day. Yeah, a
grenade bar.
a Nandos,
A
some
Nandos.
grenade energy, and a sun lounger. Job
Yeah.
done. Yeah, finished. Right, next, Northern Ireland.
And
Done.
do you do anything for like the military and stuff? Do you like I know you're good friends with them and stuff. Do you go to like events and stuff?
Oh yeah, I do get invited to some cool shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they let me blow things up, which is good, and shoot stuff, and whatever. Yeah. So
But
I've done some
if they
parachute
don't,
jumps.
come to Turkey to my dad's village.
Yeah.
We can sort
And we
that
can
out.
we can blow up your dad's
sort that
village.
out. It's all legal.
Yeah, I'm sure it's
all
yeah,
legal.
absolutely
It's all-
fine.
it's all
yeah.
legal.
What can possibly go wrong? Yeah. So I've kind of got this thing where we always try and help out military
Yeah.
guys because I just think there's lots of charities for animals and children, and there's I don't think that's probably a bad charity ever been set up.
Yeah.
But again, for me having sort of friends in the military, that's traditionally just been a demographic that's just been consistently shit on.
Yeah, okay,
By sort of everyone. So. Apart from James, has really landed on his feet, ex-military. But no, so and again, where we can sort of employ people, or because again, coming out of the military is hard. You've had this whole network of kind of things being done for you because your meals are done for you. You don't really have any bills. Your money's your own.
I've met a lot of military guys. They come out and
really,
they don't know
really
what to do.
struggle. They don't know what to do. So maybe become a photographer at Grenade. Videographer. Don't do that. Or if you're any good, please do that, because we could definitely do with the help. So I think he knows me joking.
Yeah.
But I probably not joking. No. So I think, and I read a report again that there's something like 5,000 people are homeless in the UK ex-military, and that's just disgusting. I've since been told that's not true, but I don't know if it is or not. But if it is true, that just shouldn't be allowed. That shouldn't be allowed. So, and I've been told subsequently that a lot of that's kind of by choice because they like drinking.
Do you think they keep them in that sort of mindset so they don't leave the military? Do you know what I mean?
I would guess. I suppose
because I want you to stay there. I don't want you to go. So I'm not going to teach you all those people skills. I'm not going to teach you these skills where you're going to do okay on your own. I want you to be under my control. Do you get what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Do you know what? I probably wouldn't be the right person to answer that question, actually. Yeah. I'll tell you this, though. I know that probably when, not just the military, but any job, if you had any job 20, 30 years ago, it was probably a job for life.
Yeah.
And now, and I'm not saying this is a bad thing, it's just the way it is. I know now that there's... people have jobs and they don't think of it as a job for life. They think of it, I'll do this for the next 5 years and do something completely different. Yeah. Or I'll do it for the next 8 years.
And career like 7-8 times.
Yeah, they have a lot of different careers.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I think that's probably quite a good thing. Yeah. But I know it causes issues certainly in certain branches of the military because certain branches of the military we work with, it can be like an 8-year plan to get in because it's so hard to get in.
Okay. Yeah.
And then when those guys do get in, and it costs a lot of money to train them. They kind of want them for 15, 20 years because they're a really valuable asset. Yeah. And that was the case a few years ago. They were staying having like a 20-year career. And now, sort of 8 years, they're kind of done. And they're going to something completely different. And that's a big loss in the military because they cannot retrain those people that quickly. But that's just kind of the way of the world now, is people just want to go and do something different. Yeah. Everyone wants their own business and everyone wants to be an entrepreneur.
I know.
And you'd never, who can blame them? You'd never want to hold people back that wanted to do that, because ultimately people want to be their own boss and follow their dreams.
Yeah, but it's mad. People want to do that. People have those dreams, but they never put in the fucking work.
No.
They never put in the work.
You'll get there, don't worry. Out of interest, what's your dream? What's the... I'm doing the questions now.
Yeah, okay.
What's the dream for...
You know what's mad? Like, I'm happy right now, right? And I know,
this minute, you fucking should be.
Yeah, I'm happy. I'm happy right now. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. I'm coaching a lot of people. I'm building my brand.
That shows as well. Yeah, you're having so much fun. It really shows. It's infectious.
Yeah, good. Exactly. That's what I want.
I'm going to say infectious.
And I feel like that's what it should be about, like you said. And I kind of don't know where I'm going, which kind of excites me.
That's obvious.
But I feel like
fucking nowhere.
I feel like I'm going the right way. Do you know what I mean? I feel like I'm going the right way.
I know what you mean, bruv.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, bruv, innit?
You know what I mean?
I get you.
I mean, next minute, I'm moving in, I'm taking over this house, like, you know?
Yeah, like a Turkish terrorist.
I've heard, it's all right, you can say what you want. I've heard rumours, there's a picture of you of you competing somewhere in the office or somewhere in the house. Is this right? Is this true?
Oh, there might be. Who's telling you all this
Big
stuff?
man, you need to understand.
Who's telling you
who
all
you're
this
talking-
stuff?
I know.
We've got a leak.
No. They're not here. They're not here. Don't worry.
We've got a
I
leak.
know people.
Is it Alima? He's been going through my underwear drawer again, hasn't he? The
Alima,
weirdo.
Alima's not like me. I see everything, man. I see everything. So, did you compete as well? Did you?
I did years ago, yeah, and that was back when I really wanted to. It was all about looking good.
Yeah.
And again, we were talking about this earlier, weren't we? But I realised then, like I said, when I looked my best, I felt my worst, and people said, "Oh God, you look good," and I was thinking, "Thanks, because I feel shit." But I had really bad back problems, and it was all about lifting really big weights in the gym. And again, I realised actually years later, lifting big weights is really easy because you can either do it or you can't. Most of the time I couldn't. So, but again, that I thought that was training hard, but it probably wasn't training hard. I was just wearing my body out and probably not necessarily getting anywhere. And I saw this a lot as well. People put a lot into getting big and years into kind of getting big, and like within a few weeks it was kind of gone. And I thought, you know what, that's not the type of health. I started training to be healthy, and that's probably not healthy. So
you forget that sometimes.
Right? You do forget that because you become obsessed with what you can see and then not with what you can feel. So I decided, I was chatting to Diversity about this last week, and we were saying basically that the absolute key to sort of that to physically, I think, being happy with yourself is having just the right balance, and everyone's going to be different with this, but having just the right balance of sort of strength, flexibility, and fitness. That's the ultimate combo in the right balance.
Like those
or
guys,
having
they're dancers.
huge amounts of all three, like me.
There you go. But see, those guys, their exercise is dancing.
Yeah.
Right? And it's because they love dancing. Therefore, they're going to stay consistent with it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know? And you know what? Talking to you, I actually understand your brand way more. Like,
do you know everyone says that?
You are a grenade, which is why
what
I
a
like
scary
it.
thought.
No, it's why I like it, because that bodybuilding thing you're talking about and the fitness industry is actually changing. And I feel like grenade is not a part of that cringiness.
Oh, in fact, do you know what? We really try and avoid that.
Do you know what I mean?
We try and solve problems that we know people are going to have. Like, I mean, look, we make a weight loss product, and it's like the top selling weight loss product in the country. It has been for like 8-9 years. And, no one needs supplements. No one should be taking a weight loss product. Nobody really should need a pre-workout.
But see, you as a CEO saying that, I trust you so much. Do you know what I mean?
Because you know why? Because they help with... So, if you're dieting and you're tired and you're hungry, of course, like having a weight loss product can help with alertness and increase your metabolism and suppress your appetite and stuff. Fantastic. If that gives you 1%, it's 1% you wouldn't have had, take it. With bars, you should be eating, really good balanced meals 5, 6, 7 times a day, whatever you are. Who's doing that? When you're busy, and the key, I think, probably to looking good and training is kind of being organised with your food and disciplined, which again people struggle with. So I kind of got sick of driving backwards and forwards, the length and breadth of the country and going all over the world, not having food with me. I know people that do take 4 days worth of food with them. I just couldn't do that. Fair play. I'm not criticising. I just couldn't do that. Plus, I wouldn't want to make chicken. I prepared 4 days earlier anyway. No. But I couldn't do it. So again, you pull over at a petrol station, you get fuel, you think, right, I'm hungry. So you get a bottle of water, or you got water in the car or whatever. What are you going to eat? There's not that long ago, it was a pasty,
Funny you say that. I had a bar on my way here,
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's mad. Yeah, funny you say that.
Can you make sure you stop one on the way back as well?
Yeah.
It'll make a small contribution towards this podcast.
The way you're talking about the product sounds like you're going to sponsor it next week.
Yeah, if I gave you that impression, I'm entirely sorry. So I kind of, a lot of the stuff we've made is just because, frankly, I'd use it.
Yeah.
So, and it's that simple. So I got sick of going to the petrol station and again, buying a sandwich or whatever. And don't you hate it when they put all the fucking filling at the front?
Yeah.
And then you think, oh, this looks amazing. Rip it open and you think, see what I've done here. We're onto you, you bastards.
Yeah.
So, and again, I love chocolate. I grew up with Cadbury's. Who doesn't love chocolate? And again, we didn't invent protein bars, but we invented good ones. So we put a lot of energy into having something that's portable, that people could afford, and again, is sort of kind of better than people expect, because no one had made one that was that good. And all of our stuff's informed sport. And no one else, I think, makes an informed sport protein bar. And that's, to give you an example, right, we test for parts per billion of impurities. So to give you an example, if you were to drop like a pipette of just like liquid in an Olympic-sized swimming pool, we could find it. That's parts per billion.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, but who does no, most of our consumers will not know or will not care.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean we shouldn't do it because it's a good thing to do, and frankly, no one else bothers.
Yeah.
That costs us a fortune, and it'd be so much easier. Can you imagine testing all the product that for people that just don't care?
It takes long, right, for you to form a product.
But also, like the 0.1% of people that do care, you know, Olympic athletes and elite military and stuff like that, it's important to them, so it's important to me.
Yeah.
And that's one of those decisions, I think, that's like a head and heart thing. There's kind of the right thing to do, and then there's the business decision. Yeah. So I'll just always try and do the decent thing.
And the best that you can.
Yeah, I think so, because maybe we probably don't do a very good job of telling that, you know, saying that to people. But I think the people that know. Yeah. And this stuff kind of just gets out over time. But yeah, so, you know, if we pull in a petrol station now and you just think, again, you know, you should be eating probably, you know, some chicken and veg or whatever. But if you haven't got them with you, having a protein bar and having a couple hundred calories, you'll enjoy it. 20 grams of protein, no sugar. It's better than grabbing a chocolate bar.
It must be pretty cool to like, when I go to another country, right, and someone goes knee up 24/7, I get so fucking excited. I'm like, this is fucking amazing, right? I'm in Australia. I'm on the other side of the world. Someone screams knee up 24/7. I'm like, oh my God, this is so amazing. Mum, Dad, I made it.
Has anyone ever defaced their property with it before, though?
No, that was cool. That's
quite cool.
Do you ever feel like, you know, when you go somewhere and you see like your bar in a different country or something, do you ever feel like,
no,
that's me. That's me right there.
No, I hate that.
Really?
Of course.
I was going to say, bro. Are you mad? I'm like happy for you.
I get a little bit aroused. So fun. So on that note, so it was in Canada, really obscure place in Canada. This was years ago, and we just got thermodetonator our fat burner into Walmart. In Canada, and we were with a friend of ours over there, and basically it was when we did the first ever investment with these private equity guys, and they flew around the world talking to our suppliers and customers, just doing all the due diligence on Grenade. So it was like a big trip, and I was kind of shitting myself. We were going to get caught out, and the fact it was all just bollocks. And we're in this really obscure place, and we'd been to see a supplier, and they were like, "Oh, there's a Walmart there. I wonder if that product's in there." And my sort of one of our suppliers is going, it might be in there. It's really obscure, place because Canada's a big country. Yeah. Anyway, we go in and there it is on the shelf.
Oh, right. That's amazing.
It was next to the anal lube, which they thought was hilarious.
Yeah.
You know, so
they must have known. They must have known who the CEO was. You know?
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I mean, not the. But I'll take the shelf positioning, or just anyway.
Did you buy the bar?
So we did that. That was the fat burner.
Oh, okay,
yeah, that was the fat burner in there.
Okay.
So that was before we launched the bar.
Okay, yeah.
So then we end up. So we then fly to the other side of the country, and we're in like sort of Connecticut. And you know, Connecticut's not an obvious place to visit. Let's say in the US, but we had like Sporticus, some friends of ours there, who were doing like global distribution. And we end up on the red eye, and we're on this like obscure flight into like Hartford, and it's 1 a.m. and we're sitting on the plane, and they won't let us get off the plane, because there's like a military ceremony, and there's like this band sort of turn up, and they're having like a repatriation ceremony for like an American soldier that had been killed. And we watch them sort of take the casket off, and there's these like full military salute, and we kind of all sit there patiently for like 20 minutes, and then they let everyone.
I thought they were just welcoming you know what I mean? Like,
well, yeah, I do get that a lot. Obviously, I get a full band, red carpet. Yeah, it's normally people just throwing stuff, to be honest. But no, so they did this full like repatriation ceremony, and then they took this casket off, and then we go to like jump on this bus to go and get the hire car, and I'm sitting with these investment guys, and one of the guys, the soldiers, he was in the Navy actually, full naval dress uniform on, and we're sort of making small talk, and so I'm very sorry about your colleague, and he said, oh yeah, he was killed in a diving accident or something, blah blah blah. Yeah. I said, I'm very sorry about that, and he said, oh, what do you guys do? Because you know, like, we're British and it's a really obscure place. Yeah. And I said, oh, I own a supplement company. He's like, oh, which one? I said, Grenade, and he went, I love Grenade.
No way.
And I was like, really? He said, all the guys use it. He's I'm a helicopter pilot. He said, we'll use Grenade. He said, it just keeps us awake for our night missions. I thought, this is so cool.
This is so cool.
And then the investor's sitting there thinking, he's fucking set this up.
Yeah,
He has set this up, right? Which I said, I hadn't. And I said, oh, right, so we're chatting about it. And I said, oh, I'm a pilot, and we're chatting and stuff. And I said, where are you based? He went, Guam. I'm thinking, where the fuck's Guam? I'm not sure I could point to like Guam now, but it was like, and I'm sitting there thinking, do you know, we've got this kind of little supplement company that these guys want to buy or invest into, and then we're on this bus somewhere, I'm chatting to this helicopter pilot, you know, and he's using it, and it's like, God, you couldn't
and
sort of
things
make
that
this
you
up.
love as well, like flying, helicopter.
Yeah, and it's so exciting. And then we kind of go from there to Boise, Idaho, to go and see bodybuilding.com, and we walk in the hotel, and I've got a Grenade t-shirt on, and we'd already launched this flapjack product called Reload.
Yeah.
And the guy behind the counter, again, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning, went, "Hey, grenade!" And he's literally got a Reload bar. And I'm like, fucking hell.
That's cool.
And
That's amazing.
And the guys were like, "Have you set this up?" I went, "I swear I haven't." But
that's amazing.
it does kind of, everywhere you go, people kind of get excited. We've been through like Canadian...
And it motivates you, right? You want to do more.
Yeah.
You want to do more.
Went through Canadian customs. Actually, Rob and I had a product, and we go over, and we're just there for a couple of days, and we go in through Canadian customs, and their customs officers have never got any sense of humour, have they?
Yeah.
And we've got Grenade t-shirts on, and she's like, "Oh, I love Grenade. I love your bars." And stuff. So, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I love it. Absolutely love it. And that never wears off. And because the thing is, you see, it's not just us being there in these stores.
Yeah.
Think who else is there? Because all the businesses now that grow are kind of just internet-based.
Yeah.
You know, it's just online businesses, which is great, and it's hard, and I get it's the future and it's important.
Yeah.
But you try building a business through retail.
Yeah.
When your competitors are Cadbury's,
Yeah.
you know, and Unilever and Procter and Gamble and Heinz,
Yeah.
you know, and you know, the wealthiest, fast-moving consumer goods businesses, you know, in the world, with thousands of people and billions at their disposal, and then there's us.
Yeah.
You know, well, it's basically like me, Jenny, and James. But it's nice. It kind of feels like it's us against the world.
Yeah.
So I kind
And you
of
feel like you can take over, so it's good.
Yeah, well, I like being the underdog, and these are all people, they're brands that we look up to, you know, as well. So we look up to the Monsters and the Red Bulls and the stuff like that. So we quite like, you know, like I said before, just making product that people get benefit from, you know, if that's what they want to do. I mean, you know, Red Bull's massive, you know, will never be as big as Red Bull.
You can't say that.
But no, actually true. Yeah, you can't say it. Because
that,
I always
big
said I want
man.
to be the Red Bull.
Who must
Sports
sit next to you,
Nutrition.
big man?
Well,
You can be bigger than Red Bull.
Yeah, it is. But like, you know, with their energy drink, we just kind of, you know, you're never going to out Red Bull. So we just thought, you know what? People like energy drinks.
Yeah.
I don't want to have kind of all the sugar and the caffeine anhydrous and sort of the chemicals and whatever, because I'm not one of these people that's going to be like all natural, but we'll make it as natural as we can.
Yeah.
So, you know, we use like a patented form of caffeine that's natural, that it's just kinder to your body. Now, again, if people then want, you know, a more natural drink, we're it. If they don't, we're not.
Yeah.
So we're just trying to put something out there that's different and give people an alternative.
Wicked. You know what? It's been sick having you
Awesome.
on. Honestly, like this,
I wish I could say the same.
I had so much fun. You know what? I had so much fun. I just want to say thank you for coming on.
Is that good? The fact it's sick?
Yeah,
Are we
sick.
happy?
It's good. It means good. It means good.
That's good.
Like,
It's good. It's good.
And it's been like, and you're giving banter back, which I love. Sometimes people hold back.
Oh,
Right?
I'll fucking
So,
destroy you.
I just want to
We
say,
were supposed to wrestle, weren't we? We've got to wrestle. I will batter you.
Have you got? Don't say that, big man, because I'm competitive. I'll have you up.
Probably will, to be fair.
But I just want to say thank you for coming on. And I
couldn't fight sleep.
Nah, but I want people to find you. Everyone knows where to find Grenade, right?
Okay.
On Instagram. What is your Instagram?
You
I want
can
people
help
to find you.
me. You can help people find me.
Where can they
Is
find? What's
anyone
your
going to see
Instagram?
this?
Yeah. See what?
See with this podcast, are they going to see it? Is it going to like
Big man.
There's going to be about 4
big
listeners
man.
to
You're
this,
going to
isn't there?
get so many DM slides. You don't know what's coming.
What's a DM slide?
DM
is that
slide
a dance
is
move?
No, that's like.
Oh, right.
Bird's gonna miss you.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, thanks.
Let
What
your
about
Insta-
fit men?
I'm here. You don't need that, big man. You don't need that,
Just
big
checking.
man.
Yeah. So Grenade CEO on Instagram. I don't post enough. Probably you've started following me recently. I noticed. I've blocked you.
Yeah.
Then unblocked you. It's all the sex stuff. I don't get it. But the LinkedIn is my biggest channel.
Okay. Cool. Wicked.
Which genuine business advice. It's not really.
Is there anything you'd like to tell anyone? How you want to close on anything?
No, nothing at all.
Nothing.
I've literally,
You've said enough.
You've destroyed.
You've said enough.
Yeah.
You've said enough.
But no, actually, there is something like that. I mean, I really want to. It's like accepting an award. Most people in this situation, I think, would probably always sort of thank the team and say it's all about the team, and that's bollocks. It's none to do with the team. It's all me. So yeah, I'm not going to say that at all. But no, genuinely, for all the consumers, both of you that are watching this, the fact that again people have got a choice when they do this, because, you know, like I said, we're not the only people in the world that make energy drinks or protein bars or clothing or whatever. So when people kind of choose us, you know, they're kind of just not just buying stuff, they're buying into the brand. And I always said, actually, with the brand, we want to make something people want to be part of, and we want everyone to be part of Grenade. I know it sounds a bit like old Fit Fam and all that shit, and people say it and don't mean it, but actually, if people are kind of coming with us on the journey, I mean, I want to thank people for that, because that does mean a lot. And we know that, you know, times are tight and money's hard, and, you know, we're not the cheapest brand, and we never will be for those actually thinking that, so bad luck. But we're not the cheapest brand for a reason, because we don't cut corners. And as I said earlier, integrity is expensive. And we do a lot of stuff actually that goes into product that people don't realise or never see, but it is kind of in there. So thanks for following us. I think it's probably all to say.
All right, guys. Thank you guys for listening. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and I'll chat to you guys soon. Ciao.
Cheers.
Boom.
Top job.